Okay, y'all know what today is? Monday. And it is a new 9 weeks, which means a fresh start today. Grades are in. Okay. If you did not pass for some reason the first 9 weeks, there's always hope to average out your second 9 weeks to make it give you a passing average so you can get credit for the first semester. But I do want to let you know that this second 9 weeks is really 9 weeks, right? So I think it's really 7 weeks, and then we have like one of those weeks is exams, so it's really like 6 legit weeks. So yeah, it's a shorter 9 weeks. We want to make sure if you did not have the best habits in class and doing your work and studying for tests and all that stuff, make sure you change your paradigm, improve your skills so you don't lose credit for the class, okay? In the green here, what's due is what we've been working on the last 2 days, which was Friday, Thursday, classifying triangles and triangle sum theorem. So if you haven't done those yet, you should do that for homework, turn it in ASAP. Can't put in grades for this 9 weeks till Thursday, but you should turn stuff in, okay? Today we're going to be doing kind of what we did on Thursday, classifying triangles, except we're going to be using distance formula, okay? So we're going to remember how to do that from before and apply it to a new situation, classifying triangles. So let's do that. Let's go to our notes sheet. If you haven't already written this, let's do that now. Okay, distance equals long square root sign. You can do better than that. Okay, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so we have our distance formula. And let's look at number 1 on our notes. We're going to do this one together. It says, first of all, to plot. Okay, you should be able to plot points on a graph. You should be able to remember that it's x before y, which means horizontal before vertical. You know which way is positive and negative, right? So 1, 2 for A, okay, is going to be right here. 1, 2. And then B is negative 4, 8. And then C is negative 5, negative 6. Okay. And I want you to use your protractor to make straight lines. Let's make triangles out of these. All right. So now we're going to use distance formula to find the side lengths. Let's also label these points. So we got A is 1, 2, B, negative 4, 8, and C down here. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to definitely always, as usual, show our work, right? We need to write something down before we use the calculator so I know what you put in the calculator, okay? Or sometimes you type it in wrong, you don't know why you got it wrong, and I can't tell you what you typed because you didn't write any work. So again, as usual, it is required that you show your work. So for AB, we are going to use points A and B, right? So right here, let's go ahead next to this blank, draw a long square root so we can show our work. And we are going to do x2 minus x1. So out of AB, looking at point B, what's the x value? Negative 4. And the x value of the first point A is 1. So that first parentheses is negative 4 minus 1 parentheses squared. Plus, and now same thing for the y's. y2 is 8. y1 is 2. That's 8 minus 2 squared. Okay. So I always write out my equation. I did that. And now I'm going to take that to the calculator. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to freeze it on the side here. And we need to make sure we have a cleared out calculator. Okay, I do want everyone doing this from scratch, so make sure you open your calculator and you press on new document. No, do not save. Add a calculator. Okay, I do want you to have it blank. Now let's go ahead and type this in. So it says square root. So I'm going to hit Control X squared, parentheses, -4 minus 1, parentheses, squared, plus, parentheses, 8 minus 2, parentheses, squared. So you type it all out in one step, press enter, and we get 7.81. We are going to round 2 decimal places, the hundredths place. So notice the 7.810, the 0 makes the 1 stay a 1. Okay, it doesn't round up. So 7.81, let's go ahead and write that down. For AB, might as well put it on the picture too, 7.81. Okay. BC. So for BC, we're going to use points B and C, right? In blue here. So let's write it out again. Square root, parentheses, what is x2? -5 minus, what's x1? -4. So this is kind of weird. We're going to have a negative minus a negative. So it's -5 minus sign, -4, parentheses, squared. What? Okay, so that's a minus, a negative. So please don't forget a negative or a minus sign, because that'll get you the wrong answer. And then we have y2 minus y1, -6 minus 8. Okay, so we have all that, and then we're going to take that to the calculator. Let's do that. So square root, parentheses, here's the tricky part, -5 minus -4, parentheses squared, plus, parentheses, -6 minus 8, parentheses squared. Always double check what you typed with what you wrote. Make sure they match. Hit enter. We have 14.0 what? 4. So this 5 is going to round this 3 up. Everyone knows that 5 and up rounds up. So 14.04 as we're rounding to the hundredths place. So let's write that, 14.04. And for BC over here, 14.04. Last but not least, AC. This one should be cool. Thank you. So, AC, let's write a big square root sign. So we're going to use A and C. We're going to use these two, okay? So, parentheses, x2 is -5, x1 is 1. So -5 minus 1 squared, plus y2 minus y1, -6 minus 2 squared. Okay? So once again, let's plug it in. Square root, parentheses, -5 minus 1 parentheses squared, plus, parentheses, -6 minus 2 parentheses squared. and we get a straight 10. Okay, so 10 here, 10 here. Now, we just did all this work. We plotted, we made a triangle, we labeled, we used distance formula, we got the lengths of the sides. We did all this. And if you leave this last part blank, you did all that for nothing. Because the reason you did all that is to tell me what kind of triangle. To classify, that's the word. So, let's classify this by its sides, and then by its angles. So the sides, look at these three numbers you got. Are they all the same? Are they all different? Are two the same? What's the deal? They're all different lengths. So, what does that mean? What do you call that when they're all different side lengths? Scaling. If you didn't memorize that word from last Thursday's assignment, well, you actually have to know this. You want to internalize this. Memorize this word. Scaling means all the sides are different lengths. Okay? Then, after that, you're not done. You now need to look at the angles. Okay? Now, let's look at angle B. That's acute. I hope you can just tell it's acute. It's less than 90, right? Letter C. I hope you can tell. That's just less than 90, right? Now, here's the tricky part. Angle A. What do y'all think? Okay? It's barely bigger than 90. It is obtuse. Okay? Now, you do have these cool instruments. You could always verify whether it's 90 or not. Okay, I'll save you the trouble on this one. Okay? But this is obtuse. If and when you are trying to figure out if it's obtuse, acute, or right, and you're not sure, use your protractor, please. Okay? That would be the right way to do it. So, questions so far? Anyone still need this? Okay, so we're going to zoom down to number 2. And we're going to do the same thing. So, first step, let's plot these points. Okay, so let's plot the letter D's at 3, 6. Okay, E, -1, 3. And F at 2, 7. So let's go ahead and make straight lines using our protractor. Okay. Now, we're going to do this one a little different. Let's just do it in phases. What we're going to do is we're going to write all the distance formulas out first, and then we'll type it all in the calculator, all 3 of them at once. So we'll do it in phases, and then we'll get our final answer. So for DE, long square root sign, x2 minus x1 is -1 minus 3 squared plus y2 minus y1, 3 minus 6 squared. Let's do EF. Okay, x2 minus x1 is 2 minus -1 squared plus y2 minus y1, 7 minus 3 squared. And then, third one, long square root. For DF, so x2 minus x1 is 2 minus 3 squared plus y2 minus y1 is 7 minus 6 squared. So if you can write those down first, then you just crunch them all in the calculator at once. Let's do that. So I froze it on the side here so we can look at it as we type. Oh, not that. That, yes. Here we go. So square root, parentheses, -1 minus 3 parentheses squared, plus parentheses 3 minus 6 parentheses squared. Make sure it matches, hit enter, and we get straight up 5. Let's do EF. So square root, parentheses, 2, minus sign, negative sign, oh, hold on, back up. Parentheses, 2, minus sign, negative sign, 1. Make sure that matches, squared. Goodness gracious. Squared plus 7 minus 3 squared. Make sure it matches. Hit enter. 5 again. If you look at the picture, there are two sides that look the same length. Turns out they are. Last one, square root, parentheses, 2 minus 3 parentheses squared, plus, parentheses, 7 minus 6 parentheses squared. We get 1.41. The 4 does not make it round up. So we got 5, 5, and 1.41. So let's label it. 5 for DE, 5 for EF, and 1.41 for DF. Okay? Now after doing all that, we gotta say what kind of triangle it is. We have to classify it. So, looking at these side lengths, what do I know about these side lengths? What's equal? 5 and 5. So two side lengths are congruent, or two side lengths are equal, two sides are congruent. You might remember from the video from Thursday that I made a cameo on it when I was dressed like a student, right? What did I tell you about two congruent sides? What's it called? Isosceles. Okay? Two sides, two eyes. Isosceles. Right? So, but you have two eyes. All right, isosceles. Now, let's look at the angles. Hopefully you can tell, looking at each angle, each of them, by appearance, is less than 90. So what do you call it when all the angles are less than 90? Acute. Okay. Isosceles, acute. Okay. Now, you're going to use that information on the assignment. Now, I want you to notice something. The very back of your notes, the first page, open it up, look at the very bottom. It says name, date, and period. Because I was one enter off from getting it on the right page. So the assignment, what you need to do is tear these pages, rip them apart. Okay, this second page is your assignment, like it says, assignment. I don't want you to forget to put your name on this, so please put your name on it now. Name, date, period, before you forget. I know there's no space for it, because it's on the back of your notes. Okay, but you're going to keep your notes, and right now you're going to do these 4 problems as your assignment. Turn it in when you're done. Cool.